Hey there, and welcome to the Deathstars channel. And today I'm going to check out some Deathstars, and this is it's a band I know of, but don't think I have to remember this one. I don't think I've ever reacted to them. It's not a band that I've ever really looked at. I just remember when they first came out. But if it's the band I remember, or I think I remember it to be. When they first came out, a lot of it was kind of getting comparison to early Motley Crue and the looks of the band and stuff like that, maybe. Well, that could be the Black Veil Brides, actually. I don't know. Let's go. I do remember there was an imagery kind of thing. Maybe this is on their uniforms or something. There was something going on there. A little bit death looking, a little like black metal looking, but with uniforms and military style uniforms or something along those lines. Maybe that was Deathstars. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to find out anyway. This was one of their more recent videos. I was going to put it over onto the ADK channel, but decided against that. Just because I didn't think it was something that Andy or Kirk would really get into. So, yeah, I'm going to do it over here on the Dave Does. Let's count it in. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, so it's the uniform one. Reminds me of Dope. And the band that had Murder Dolls as well. They're industrial like Marilyn Manson as well. Maybe that's where I'm getting this other vibe. Okay. Another long outro. Wish they'd put the titles over the end of the actual video bits rather than putting the at the end. Most people cut off at the end, but I try to leave these on so people get to see them at least. Okay, it's Deathstars, and this is... Okay, so I'm in mixed feelings on this one. Actually, it's not mixed feelings. Sorry, that's a bad way of saying it. It's not mixed feelings. I have no feelings really on this one. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not great. It's a solid track. The problem I'm having with this particular track is I don't know what purpose it really serves. They put music out, but there are so many other songs that sound very similar in sort of stylization of this. You've got your Marilyn Mansons, you've got your Rammsteins. If you want industrial, you can go down any of the routes of things like Ministry. You've got 9 Inch Nails. If you want the punky elements, you've got your Murder Dolls. You've got Dope that does something very similar to this. You've got then you get into the new metal crossovers of like things like the Static X's, and all these other bands have done this just as well as this, if not case better in a lot of cases. So where do Deathstars sit within the kind of mix of bands? Because the song itself was fairly straightforward, it's fairly simple. The riffs were fairly just open, like just jin 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 jin. There wasn't a huge amount of like. I'm trying to think the best way of putting it. I don't like insulting, like saying something insults. People take it as an insult, and I don't mean it as an insult. It's just kind of when you listen to as much as music and as many new bands and as many stuff as we do for the ADK channel, and of course Dave does, you come across lots and lots of bands. So I would be surprised if this song took them more than an hour to put together from start to finish, because there's no difficult passages in there. It's a lot of repetition. This is something they could have knocked out in the rehearsal studio in an hour. Get the first couple of riffs in there, repeat it a few times, and then whack the vocals over the top. It's a good sort of song if you're playing like a video game sort of console, because that video game sort of music needs that structured repetitiveness that you want there. It gets buried into your head, and that riff it gets straight into your head. So it's a good hook. But it's a hook I've heard several times before. Don't ask me in the comments to tell me which song I've heard before. I could just tell you it is. I'm not going to spend ages trying to work out exactly which songs, but you know what it's like when you hear something and you're like, I've heard this riff somewhere before. That's kind of my thought, and I think it was probably a Murder Dolls track or a Dope track. It was one of those two. But yeah, I don't have any problems with it. It's not a band that I'd probably now go out and go, oh, I want to go see them live. But also, if I was at like an all-day thing or something like that and Deathstars were playing, I'd probably go and watch them just to see the vibe of it, because it actually feels like it would probably be quite a cool live band, because the song itself is quite open, it's engaging, so it does allow you to get into it very easily, but it's not gonna make you want to stay around for very long to go and buy an album. It's not an album that you're going to sit down and dissect the songs. It's same as when I bought the Murder Doll album and the Dope albums, and I listened to them. They're albums I can just put on, play, and just listen to for a bit, but I probably wouldn't call them my intellectual, thought-provoking sort of songs. They're just songs that are kind of cool for in the moment. I don't know, where do people see Deathstars kind of sitting in all this? Because, I mean, they're not young guys themselves anymore, but I was going to say they're not really... They kind of took on the mantle from the things like bands like Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anyway, if you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.